So this is going to be a brief introduction to ad hoc wireless networking and some of its applications, why it's useful, and why you should be concentrating on it more. So regular wireless networking, like the kind you probably have in your house, uses a wireless access point or router. And what this does is broadcast. It connects to a cable modem or a DSL modem, and it broadcasts wireless a network throughout your house. And we can use this network to connect to the internet or to other devices on the network. So you've got your devices that connect to the network. Device A, we'll say, and device B, and device C. All these guys, they connect to the network, and they connect to the wireless being broadcast by the access point, and they're all happy. But let's examine the data flow in this network. What happens if A were to try to send a message to B? Now, if it was going out to the internet, obviously, whatever data we send out to the internet, it's going to have to go through this device, or it's going to go through some device to connect to the internet. But what if, we're just talking amongst ourselves, or we're sharing files on the network, or streaming video from one device to another, or even maybe we're a couple rooms or in a big building on wireless, and we're just want to use some sort of chat on our computer or on our phone in between two people, and they want to talk, and they need to send data from device to device rather than device out to internet. Well, the data flow is still the same. It'll go from the first device A here, reach the router, and then get forwarded on to whoever is going to. Say it's A trying to talk to C. Which is kind of silly, because that means all the data in this network, even if it's staying within the network, has to go through the single point of failure in the center. And if the wireless router here were to break, were to be compromised, or some malicious third party was to start snooping in on your wireless, well, they could see all the data going through the network here, or they could take down the entire network just by unplugging one thing, which is bad. And this is kind of silly because we know that all of these devices have built-in wireless. Same thing with smartphones. If we think of a cell phone tower like this here, this is a cell phone tower. I'm not the greatest artist. I'm sorry about that. But if we take the situation with all these phones connected to the cell phone tower, when that tower goes down, no one has any service and your phones are useless, even though we have this Wi-Fi that works great for short-range communication, which is where ad hoc comes in. So let's draw out on this next page what an ad hoc wireless network would look like. We've got a device, a device, a device, another device, and another device. And what would happen is they would all talk directly to each other. This is entirely possible nowadays with current wireless network hardware. And it would look something, like this, where we connect everything in a mesh fashion. And everybody that's nearby each other can talk to each other because Wi-Fi has limited range. So if this person here wanted to talk to the person next to them, they could just send a message there. But if they want to talk to someone further away, they could just ask someone nearby to forward the message. So we could see data that might go here and then go here. And that, increases latency and isn't practical for lots of large files or the internet itself, but person-to-person communication, this is great. But if we get a large-scale network of everybody's smartphones, that if they were to start interacting like this, it would pretty much be impossible to shut off, which is great in situations like Egypt a couple years ago where they turned the internet off during the uprising and people couldn't talk to each other because their cell phones weren't working. Or in Haiti after the earthquake where the cell phone towers got destroyed and then all communication was down. But that's when you want communication. And we want to be able to send private personal messages from people to people, and we don't want this to be easily snooped on. We want to be able to resist censorship. That's one of the reasons the internet is great. But the internet has a few points of failure, and Egypt showed us that it can be taken down. But a large-scale ad hoc network built out of cell phones, we'll call this a large-scale mobile ad hoc network, a MANET, would be very, very hard to shut off and very censorship resistant. It's not practical for all types of data, but person-to-person secure communication, it would be great for. So if you thought this was cool, we want to learn some other applications of MANETs and ad hoc networking, I encourage you to visit our website at www.whispercomm, that's whispercomm, .org. And thanks for watching.